you're out for dinner or at the store, the sheer number of different wines you can choose from can be really overwhelming, right? So to help us all find that perfect bottle of wine that we'll actually enjoy, I spoke with Elizabeth Schneider, author of Wine for Normal People. How did you specifically get into wine?
Well, I was a normal person. I worked in technology in Boston, and I had this feeling that I was not a dumb person. And yet every time I was approached in a wine shop, I felt like all of a sudden I was the dumbest person alive. You seem like you understand this, right?
I don't understand this. It's like you're almost embarrassed by the fact that you don't know where a, Côte d'Aron comes from or something.
So I was like, that's not right. So that's how I took a wine course. Somebody told me about wine. And then I worked in California for a big winery. And I was like, okay, well, they make jug wine. They have to be friendlier. No, nobody in the wine industry is in it for wine drinkers. I still am out there with everybody else. So yeah, I'm a normal wine person too.
You're a girl after my own heart. Seriously, I can't believe the boxed wine people are snotty. I mean, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
What is Wine for Normal People all about? I mean, are you going to educate us?
I've had a podcast for 10 years called Wine for Normal People. And what happened is that I just realized that if you talk to people about wine, you can make them more excited about it if you educate them. There's a way for everyone who wants to get into it. And that's exactly how I try to approach it.
I love that. I think I'm going to read your book, then watch that movie Sideways again. Maybe I'll appreciate it more.
I think I might appreciate it less.
All right, so let's stop talking and start drinking. What are these wines that you sent my way?
I am a huge Washington wine advocate. I love Washington. The variety, the diversity, what we call the terroir, the land, it is amazing. The number and breadth of wines that Washington makes that are fantastic. So this time, Sleight of Hand, which is exactly what it says, the magic, is in your glass. So we'll start with the Riesling. This is the Magician. This is from Columbia Valley, from the ancient lakes region. It's a little bit off dry. You like it? Yeah, it's nice climate with enough fruit and really nice wine. This would be really great with spicy food.
It's not a dry wine, so I like that.
And then our next one, the Conjurer. You might recognize this guy on the label. Of course, if you're my age, you know him as Doogie Howser, right? But if you don't, then it's Neil Patrick Harris. And he is a wine club member at Sleight of Hand and really loves their wine. So he actually made it on their label. Fantastic wines. It is mostly Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Merlot, Petit Verdot, Columbia Valley wine. Tastes so good. Do you love it?
I do. It's a little bit more dry for me, but if you like a dry red, this is the way to go. It is. It's bold, but it's not Cabernet bold, which is our next one, right?
Right. The Conjurer is more of what we'd call a Bordeaux blend. It's got a whole bunch of grapes in it. The Illusionist, which is their really top of the line. This is what Trey and Jerry, the guys who own the winery, and from Columbia Valley, Cabernet Sauvignon, 91% Cabernet Sauvignon, a little bit of Petit Verdot and Cabernet Franc in there. And this is the big wine. This is the one that has a lot of body. You can lay it down for a really long time. That's the other thing about Washington wines in general. They age so well, lots of good earthiness. So it smells really good, very dry, but also a rich wine and can age forever.
I do not typically like Cabernet. It's not my jam. This is really, really good. And it smells, or what do they call it? The nose?
Yes, the nose or the aroma. Yep.
It smells amazing. I mean, it's powerful and it's beautiful. That is a beautiful wine, I have to say. Now, I always hear Cabernet is a wine that you pair with like a steak or something you're eating with a lot of fats. What do you think about pairing wine with food well?
Tannin goes really well, that mouth drying sensation goes really well with fat, and it goes really well with protein because it actually chemically bonds to it. And then after, everything is smoother and silkier. And then the only thing that's left is the flavor. So that's really great. However, there's lots of wines that have tannin in them. Cabernet Sauvignon also has good acidity. So that's going to be good if there's anything creamy on the plate. But the other thing you got to pay attention to when you're pairing is what else is on the plate? What are the herbs? What are the spices? What are the sides, right? So if you think about it that way, Cabernet may not be the best thing. Maybe it's something a little more mild, like a Malbec, right? Or maybe a Syrah would go better because it's a little spicier. Maybe you need a little oomph to your dish. So all of these things are going to make a big, big difference. And the interesting thing about white wines, here's a great tip. If they're really acidic, they go really well with acidic foods. Who would have thought that's true? But it's absolutely true.
How do you find an affordable bottle of wine that you're going to love?
Washington has a really great open system where the wineries can just sell right to, not just to you, but also to the retailers who can sell to you. So you get better prices that way. If you're looking for really, really great values, like things sub $10, Portugal, Spain, Chile, anywhere that people speak Spanish or Portuguese, the best value on planet Earth right now. You can't do any better than that.
Thank you for educating us and not being snobby about it.
Thank you for having me. And drink some Washington wine. You guys have great wine.
Cheers to that.